Welcome back, fellow agents. It is I, X7, your humble host and paleontological. Oh, I had it earlier today and forgot to write it down. Anyway, we're going to talk about some dinosaurs at the museum. Well, the Museum of Geology at the University of Wyoming. So, which is where your humble agent just was uh, the last few days, as if you've listened to the podcast at all. So, what you see here is the old school, super old school. Look at those pronated front claws. T Rex. I was looking for a little. Oh, let me go back here. I wanted to see a little history because I did not look it up earlier about the University of Wyoming. It was a public land grant research university in Laramie. It is the school university. It's where the Cowboys play, the Wyoming Cowboys, not the ones from Texas. It was founded in March of 1886, 4 years before the territory was admitted as the 44th state. Opened in 1887. So the building it's a really nice looking campus, very up to date. I'm sure there was some original stuff floating around, but your humble agent didn't have the time or the inclination, thanks to the lovely parking situation. And I don't blame the people who live around there. They don't want students clogging up all of that, but anyway, so we're going here. Now, I went there on Thursday. It was a blustery day, if you will, and I had to find the dang place. It's a beautiful campus, like I said. So we're going to, and they told me the legend of the T Rex there is if you throw a pine cone into its mouth, you will pass your undergraduates or your graduation or something like that. I'm like, I'm not a student. I don't care. I did think that was a very good suggestion. Do not throw rocks at the T Rex because T Rexes, you wouldn't like them when they get angry. So I did take quite a few pictures here. It didn't take long. It's very small. It's two floors. Just a nice little. I mean, don't expect a lot. It's still better than the museum there in Cheyenne, which was plenty nice, and should have done a podcast about that, but I wasn't quite there yet. Now was I? It was right before I started. Interestingly enough. So here's the sign. Little unknown sauropod. That's to show you the way to go in. Now, unfortunately, I didn't know my way around. So these are kind of in the reverse way that I did it. Oh, well. But I just the birds have visited. Obviously, someone needs to wash that off. And there's the building. And I'm pretty sure these are casts here. It's open. It says 1955. I'm not 100% sure maybe that's when it was. It doesn't say here. Schools and institutes, maybe, blah, 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 blah. Athletics, nobody cares. Sports ball. But, that's the way you go in. Now, I was the only person in there aside from the student. I'm assuming she was a student at the desk. So that was kind of fun. A couple of people showed up later as I was leaving, but not a lot of people. So I pretty much had the place to myself. And there's the nice little welcome sign. SVP is something Garrett and Sabrina go to, or at least attend virtually these days. It might be kind of fun. I should have asked that. Big Al, that must be the Allosaurus that we'll see later on. They didn't have a name for that. It was really nice. Oh, look, there was somebody there. Oh, that was at the end. Those are the people. Right. I forget. I did this in reverse. So here we have the Apatosaurus. Now, they claimed it was an Apatosaurus. It looks, almost all sauropods look the same to me. Sorry, Sabrina. But I'm not the sauropod scientist that some people are. Apatosaurus ajax. Now, I much prefer the Brontosaurus. I grew up with the Brontosaurus. So, but this is beautiful. It's long. It's lovely reconstruction. I don't know. I didn't look enough. I was just looking at the dinosaurs, right? You can see in the background there, there's a Stegosaurus. That's the state fossil of Colorado. And before we go much further, please like, share, subscribe, vote in a poll, and leave a comment. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, please listen for a couple of minutes at least. It really helps the algorithm, and I've noticed that I'm starting to see at least the podcast for me showing up. I don't know if anyone else is, but we'd really appreciate it. Grab yourself a big old stack of Stone Age wheat cakes, the kind that Fred Flintstone would eat, and we'll continue our tour of this small but lovely little museum, the Geological Museum. There's the cast. This is a Diplodocus or Diplodocus, however you want to say it. No one can really. That's the difference in skulls. That's the Apatosaurus. So Diplodocus is my favorite sauropod. Diplodocus carnegii, something like that. It's a Diplodocus. Dippy over there in England, if you will. That was just, I mean, just the size, just to show you the size difference of teeth and everything. And here's a lovely drawing. It's a little older because, there's no feathers anywhere, not even pin feathers, except for possibly on this little bird-like creature. But a Triceratops horridus and, of course, the Tyrannosaurus rex. There's a sign there. But lovely painting. And there we go. And here's a cast of the skulls for a battle that probably rarely, if ever, happened. Fight between a Tyrannosaurus and a Triceratops. We've seen it. I don't know how many times have we seen that in the movies. Oh, and so, but that's just nice. It's the Triceratops is the state dinosaur of Wyoming, and they do have a lovely, lovely. I should have included that lovely picture or lovely cast of a Triceratops skeleton. And this is an Ichythosaurs ornatus. I think that tells you exactly why. Now, is this really a separate one? Well, I don't know. It looks cool. Let me go. Why does that next moving? So we're just going to walk through here. Here's a footprint. I could not quite get back far enough because that dang Apatosaurus was in my way. So there's your footprint, obviously of a theropod of some kind, probably an Allosaurus, wouldn't surprise me, but the Jurassic and the Cretaceous mix over here in Wyoming more than they do down in Colorado. We have lots of Jurassic. That's just what we do. The Morrison Foundation, that's where it is. We will have to go to Dinosaur Ridge at some point. And this is a mammoth. We're going to get into some non-dinosaurian things. And I did want to look up what mammoth is not actually. It's a genus of extinct, but it's not really called. It's Mammuthus, but this is probably a Elephas primigenius. Genius. But it's not really, I mean, a mammoth is not really its name. It's not really a mammoth. I thought that was interesting to find out. Mammoth is, a size thing. Why does that next keep moving? Here is a Gastornis, otherwise what I knew as a diatryma. I wish I still knew it as a diatryma. Gastornis is just kind of a bleh name. I looked that up earlier. There we go. And I just wish that it had a different. I like diatryma. That's what I grew up with it knowing. But Gastornis actually was the original one. Cope was, I believe, that called it the diatryma. And because it's a geology museum, geology rocks. Here's a piece of gypsum crystal. There's its, elemental makeup and evaporate sulfate mineral. Beh. But right next to it was this. Oh, look it's a hippo. Now, who do we know that loves hippos? Huh, Lilith? Do you know anybody? So Jade. I think that thing would be really heavy, but that's a beautiful carving there. And it's a hippo. Dun, dun, dun. All right. And, speaking of Lilith, it's her spirit animal. one of them, aside from the hippo, the other spirit animal. A Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis, which is where they were found, and that might actually, I don't know if that's a cast or not. I think it would be a cast. You can see down here it was found in the Lance Formation in Niobrara County, Wyoming. Wyomingensis. So, oh, it is a cast. It's not the real one. Maybe they wouldn't have been so. Look at there's some other stuff back there. Duck bills. I missed a lot of this. I was hungry. I was getting hungry. Anyway, there's your Pachy. You got a hippo and a Pachy all together at the same place. And now this is the Allosaurus fragilis and the rear end of the Apatosaurus. And I would think if I was this size and the Apatosaurus was that size, I'd just keep walking if I was that. Look, there's a little one. I wonder what they do. We'll see what that is momentarily. But I've really come to appreciate the Allosaurus much more these days. They were always a second to me after, well, probably not even a second, Ceratosaurs, but the T-Rex obviously is the first one. But I like Allosaurus quite a bit. I mean, I would not want, I'd probably walk up to it anyway. All right, let's go. And here is that cast of the Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus stenops, probably. Apparently it threw up right as it died. It didn't even eat the sash. Not that Bitsy Pookums will ever hear that, but but that's a nice little casting there. And here is a little one. It goes rough. You can't really see. Oh, look, you can. But I can't. Late Jurassic. So, obviously. But we can find out a little more about it here. Articulated torso, adult Othnielia rex. I don't even know what that means. But there's where it was all found. So, that's the one that we just saw back here. Let's go back one. That's that one. I'm pretty sure. That's what that was. Yeah. Okay. Where's my next? And next again. So look at, there's a pteranodon without the gigantic crest. Small one. I'm not 100% sure if that one was, I did not take a picture of the plate, but you can see up here, this is where I took the picture. I'd gone upstairs. Where did it go? It just goes around. Now they were refurbishing this or renovating it. So not everything was, because there's a whole wall without anything on it. There's a bunch of stuff there that we'll see, but we won't get to see it very well. But look at the tail, comes clear up here. So the pteranodon was a Cretaceous animal. There's just a down picture, a picture of the Allosaurus there. And there were mammals over here, and unless it's a Smilodon and they didn't have one, they're mammals. There's just the way, it's just a huge skeleton. I mean, you think of them when you think, oh, you want to see one of the Titanosaurids or something like that. Those are big, but these are just gigantic. They're freaking huge. They've got they've got their own weather system. Here is a Coelophysis. And if you watch Land of the Lost, that was Spot. As you can see, they're not nearly as big as the ones in Land of the Lost. Oops, there we go. Where'd that go? But I like the cast. There is a Coelophysis ranch down at the south end of Colorado, which I haven't been to, but my sainted mother has. And here we have a bunch of stuff that just puts together. It's turtles. This is I believe, an Ichythosaurus skull. And here's an Ichythosaurus body. And here's a lovely painting or a lovely picture of them putting together the Apatosaurus, tail dragging back then, circa 1900. So that's pretty dang. Camarasaurus, which of course was part of the reason we had the Brontosaurus. And a lovely Zednek Burian painting, Allosaurus in its pronated hands with the Stegosaurus. Just looking at it like, come on, try me, bro. I never say bro. All right, there we go. There is the Brontosaurus, which existed, then it didn't exist, and now it exists again. But Burian is one of my favorite artists, or old school paleo artists. Because look, they're in the water. We know that didn't happen. Looking like sea monsters. He got swiped a lot for comic books. Okay, what's next here? Come on. Oh, they're in the outside. So apparently, I didn't take the other picture of um, the cast of the ichthyosaur body. I thought I did. So Triceratops on the outside, of course. We're about done here almost. How about that? Like I said, it was a short little. It was a little museum, but it was fun. Oh, there's the turtle that was on the way in. It is not an archelon, but it was a pretty good sized turtle. It was bigger than anyone that we've seen floating around here. I can't tell. Let's see if we can see cast Green River Formation. So, um, yeah. Okay, where's my next button here? There we go. And there's the other side, the Stegosaurus, so one and the other. And we're about done here. And we're going to take a look at T Rex again. Is that it? Nope. There we go. So, I think that's it. There's no more next over here, right? Where's the back button? That's just, it's just hard to get the scale in there, but there's a pine tree. But agents, I hope you've enjoyed this little trip through the Museum of Geology at the University of Wyoming in Laramie, Wyoming. It was a fun day, a beautiful day out there, and it was breezy, but it was warm, and just a lovely day to be running around Wyoming. The Stanley exhibit we'll do probably tomorrow, unless I want to talk about the Incredible Shrinking Man, and I probably won't. So we'll probably do a Stanley exhibit tomorrow, which was a lot of fun as well, and a lot more pictures of that. So I may have to skip through them a little faster than normal. But until our next assignment, just remember dinosaurs do make everything better. And this is X7 signing off.